All right, guys, we're gonna do a little bit more theory on the hinge today. Now, the hinge is one of the most important motions as we talked about in other chapters. Let's just do a quick little breakdown. So our hinge position, what are we trying to do? We are trying to load up the hamstrings and glutes and then triple extend through the ankles, knees, and hips, okay? This is our power for our jumps. This is when we do this on a single leg. This is our power for our explosive movements and our sprints and our runs, okay? Let's just slowly break it down. Now, if you have a Viper is the best place to start for your hinge, okay? If you don't have a Viper, you can use a longer foam roller. It doesn't really matter. Anything that's long. So if I have a longer foam roller, I can grab it by the side here. And what I'm gonna do is just show you the different types of hinges here. So we're gonna start with a slight bend in our knees. We're gonna push the hip back. The upper body angle doesn't change. All that's happened is my hips have gone back. From here, we can hold this position to acknowledge our middle hamstrings and slide back up. Okay, let's hinge one more time. Okay, so this is my Viper hinge. Hamstrings are loaded, and I come back up, okay? And we're just gonna touch on a couple different things here. Now, when I'm going into a dumbbell hinge, it's the exact same idea as the Viper. Dumbbells stay close, I load up. Now from this position, I can start my row series, my reverse fly series. So many things happen from this hinge with dumbbells, so it's very important to have a good dumbbell hinge. Now, when it comes to the barbell, let's just differentiate between different types of deadlifts and different types of hinges here, okay? What we always start with is our hinge motion is our Romanian deadlift. So usually the exercise starts with the bar already here. So either we pick it up off a rack or we deadlift it from the floor to pick it up. We have that slight bend in our knees. We slide the hips back to load our Romanian deadlift. Now, when we're deadlifting from the floor, we're gonna most likely be using a lot heavier weight. Two different goals. My Romanian deadlift, my hinge with the barbell, is used for a more hamstring and glute workout, but my deadlift from the floor is used as a compound exercise with its primary benefits being when I lift heavy weight, I release more testosterone, more growth hormone. Lifting heavy stuff just makes you stronger, right? It makes you bigger, makes more muscles have to work. Both are good, but when we're talking about pure hinging, we can do a pure hinge on a deadlift from the floor with more of a hamstring bias. So now I have a very big hamstring bias. I tighten up my lats, I push, I hinge, hamstring bias, up. I can also do it with less of a hamstring bias by being maybe a little bit more forward with my knees, tight lats, right? Different lifters will deadlift different ways. In terms of function, we're not gonna be deadlifting from the floor heavy anyway because it's just not one of the best movements. Now, from time to time, it'll be in there, but it's not something we wanna do more than once a week at most, okay? Let's quickly talk about another form of deadlift, which is the Sumo deadlift. In the Sumo deadlift, I have very wide feet, so the Sumo position, and it makes me have to create less of a hinge, right? Like I don't need to get this much space. I don't have to create so much space. And my lower back in turn does less motion, right? So some lifters prefer this motion where I still have a straight chin angle, I still get my lats tight, but I'm more in that Sumo position, less lower back motion. I can also do a mix of the two, kind of like a hybrid motion where my knees and toes are splayed and I'm in here, okay? Either way, all we're trying to cover in this section is that the hamstrings and glutes are loaded while the upper body doesn't do much motion on any one of these hinge variations. Again, the hamstrings and the legs do everything for me. Okay, I think that's it, yeah. Okay, so hinging, again, very essential. Just wanted to highlight a couple different things that we can do with our hinge and just how essential it is going forward.